Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Los Angeles Rams. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27.
Switch gears.
Now a carry by the third-year man. This is Austin Eckler. He finds an opening past the 40. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down. These two teams, of course, met last year in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And, you know, a lot of people were calling that kind of a throwback game to the 70s of the old NFL. And the Rams would get out to the 23-7 lead. Cowboys tried to make a late push, but the Rams would hold on for the 30-22 victory. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Prescott finding Witten, and he's going to get this inside the 30. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 28.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line. Check, 48's the mark. Silver.
A run for Tony Pollard, the Memphis product. Corey Littleton there on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Prescott. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Prescott. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Aaron Donald with a sack.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League, where he kicked for 4 years, and I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
So after the face mask, they get to start all the way up past the 35 now.
Check out. Move.
Goff turns and gives to Gurley. And they string that play out nicely. He stopped before he could turn upfield. No gain, 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now Goff will hand this one to Gurley. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Like 20.
On third down, they'll run it with Gurley. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's fourth down.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is, at the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well. We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The run for Pollard. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Cowboy first down.
How about his performance last week? Over 200 yards. I think his decisiveness. One cut, and he goes. That's what's really made him pile up the yardage.
And the yardage he piled up last week, easily honored with NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I would have voted for him.
Dante Fowler in on the stop.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, kill. 27.
Try to do better.
We're going to 54. Why?
Hey, alert 3.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. It'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Looking back to Cooper's numbers from last year after that trade, he ended up playing 9 games with the Cowboys in 2018. 725 yards, 6 scores. Also had the 100-yard game in the playoffs against the Rams. And if you add up the numbers between the 2 teams last year, he was over 1,000 for the 3rd time in 4 NFL seasons. Oh, Prescott stripped. And now the Rams have got it going the other way. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
On first down, it's Gurley. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Defensively, it was Leighton Vander Esch up from his linebacker spot. The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Goff going to hand it to Gurley. And for a second straight play, that Cowboy defense gets him to the ground behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. The Rams with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Goff now looking to throw. He wants it all for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Now Prescott. Flushed out right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Henderson will try to run for the first. And his first carry, he loses the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. Well, he's not the starter coming in. Getting his first carry off the bench, that's not the way to earn more carries.
You have to stay in the game, even if you're not on the field, right? Stay mentally sharp, stay ready, and above all, when you get into the game, hold on to the football. Don't let the other team have it.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Gurley with a carry on first down. He'll only get a couple. 2nd and 8 forthcoming. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's go, D. Watch the ship.
Now Gurley, and 3 yards there, takes him to the 45. Well, the returns for the Cowboys on Leighton Vander Esch have been pretty good so far. You know, a lot of Cowboy Nation questioned when they took him number 19 overall a season ago instead of Calvin Ridley. But Leighton Vander Esch would get 140 tackles last year, franchise rookie record for Dallas en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And he takes it all the way down to the 44-yard line. And you hear it all the time, but that's one of the dangers of the blitz. You get past that first wave, nobody else is there.
And when teams blitz, what they're trying to do is make you lose your poise, lose your timing and your tempo. But when you hold it together, you can really hurt them the other way, getting past that first wave.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Here is Eckler, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Prescott to throw it, eluding the pressure right. Oh, he's going to go for it all. And this is going to be intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports.
Keep doing that.
All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here's Gurley. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. The Rams on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7. Back to throw, gone. He's going to air it out deep for Woods. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are in the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. Clay Matthews able to record his 5th sack of the season. They'll need a big play here. Will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Prescott. He's got the connection to Cooper. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. JoJo Natson back deep for the Rams. So we've reached halftime. All we have to show for the first half, a lone field goal. 3-0 our score. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. This one taken from the 7. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Rams take over 1st and 10 at their own 29.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal.
We go tonight. Like 20. Let's go. Here we go.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Mike, you go. Mike 20.
You ain't going nowhere. Single, single. Single, single.
Throwing on 3rd. Gone. Oh, he may have gotten lucky. Tried to dump it off underneath on the check down. Nearly picked. Instead, it's incomplete. It appears they're going to come up empty on this first drive of the second half. Still down by that slim margin.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, when you sit and analyze it, they're not happy about what happened, having to go to the bench. But this gives them a chance to let their defense do some work while they on the sidelines go over what they're doing offensively and formulate a proper plan.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Here we go, 47. Here we go, 46. 26.
Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
Brings up second down at the 14.
On 2nd and 15 now. Prescott flush to his right. Got his man there complete to Gallup. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 23 yards the pickup there. You think about the two quarterbacks in this game, Goff and Prescott. And, of course, Jared Goff, the first pick back in the 2016 class. Prescott, that same class, but he was in the 4th round, pick number 135. But Dak would take home Offensive Rookie of the Year honors. Fear not, though, for Jared Goff. He would recover, of course, and lead the Rams to Super Bowl 53 in that eventual loss to the Patriots. Here's Prescott. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Here's Natson. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Gurley now out of the gun. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
Brings up 4th down.
Here's Johnny Hecker now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one may be his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. It's the Pro Bowl corner, Aqib Talib there to stop him.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line, I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up.
And, oh, that is going to be a safety. So maybe the defense will have to kickstart the offense here. The first points of the game comes from that defensive unit.
Yeah, sometimes you get together and you say, hey, maybe it's on us today. We have to go out and force the issue and make a play and get everyone else going.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36.
The Rams take over 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
At the 41-yard line.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Again they run with Gurley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They go play action with Gurley. Now gone. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Michael Brocker's in on the stop.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
On 2nd and 9, Prescott dancing to his left. That is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Prescott from the gun. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the The defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there. Now Natson. Now a hit and a loose football. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. Touchdown, L.A. Todd Gurley, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Rams have taken the lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
They'll try and run it with Gurley. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
At their own 14-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Last year, Dak Prescott had 3 fourth-quarter comebacks, and he's in search of another one right now. On 2nd and 12, Prescott. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by John Johnson. And he will take this down to the 10-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Todd Gurley, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Rams use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Zerline good with a PAT. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
At the 28-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Throwing. Prescott. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Cowboys, first down. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Prescott now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now Prescott. That's complete to Cobb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
First down. First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
So from Rams territory now, it's first and 10 at the 47. Looking to throw. Prescott. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Clay Matthews in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. On the RPO, Prescott's going to keep it himself, and that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. On second down, Eckler. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Brings up third down.
Third and long for Prescott. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. Prescott down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. John Johnson with the INT. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Another carry now for Gurley. And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Gurley. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Here's Johnny Hacker now. He's been terrific so far.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. The Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. And it'll be a 2nd and long. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
First down, Prescott. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Nikel Roby-Coleman. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They run. It's Gurley. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. So many questions about Todd Gurley in the offseason. How good is the knee? I mean, remember, he had a heavy workload the last couple years, nearly 4,000 yards from scrimmage, 40 total touchdowns. And Gurley fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose. And the Cowboys have recovered. Anything to make of this or just a bad stretch? Because he had the 2 fumbles he lost last week and now a 3rd.
It's a bad stretch, but it's one that he has to make sure he overcomes. This isn't on anyone else but him. Taking care of the ball, tucking it away, keeping it high and tight, all the while doing that and not slowing down his running and his ability to move the ball forward.
That one goes for 30 yards. Charles, you talk so much about quick change plays. There's one right there. You get the turnover, and boom, hit him with a big one.
And defenses plan for this all the time. They work on it in practice. But in the middle of the game, when that quick change takes place, oftentimes guys aren't as focused as they need to be.
Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Intended that time for Cooper, but it'll be 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Prescott. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Now Prescott on 4th down. Forced out to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Clay Matthews. And the Rams are going to take possession of the turnover on downs. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
So the L.A. Rams with a victory here. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for Los Angeles, they remain in the hunt for a first-round bye as they move to 11-3 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.